Man, I love NXT so much. What's up, everybody? I'm DJ Cass, and of course, I am back here with you, exclusive to PWFEmpire.com, to give you the NXT recap tonight. Tonight truly was development in its showcase as we had a glorious NXT Championship match between Roderick Strong and Bobby Roode. Ember Moon taking on Ruby Riott. Can't wait to talk about that. And also, is Sanity next in line for a championship shot? Of course, we kicked off NXT tonight with the NXT commentators Mauro Ranallo. Again, it's good to have him back. Nigel Diaz, and get Percy Watson's butt off that commentary table, please. But the first match that we had tonight to kick off NXT was tag team action. It was Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami versus Sanity's Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane. I will say, though, from an in-ring aspect, I thought this match was really slow-paced. I really didn't get into it till about the end. I will say, though, again, I love Cassius Ohno. I love that he's going with the knockout artist. I love Cassius Ohno. Like, right now, he's one of my favorites on the NXT roster. Hideo Itami, I mean, again, it's like him with having so many injuries really set him back for me in terms of, like, how much do I appreciate his in-ring work. But Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf, of course, not accompanied by Nikki Cross, again, because of what happened with the last women's standing match last week. And, of course, if you guys heard the rumors, Eric Young, the reason why he's not at the table is because his mother passed away. Shout out to Eric Young. Hope he gets well. And, yeah, I will say the in-ring aspect didn't deliver for me in this match, but the story in this match definitely delivered for me, because Cassius Ohno was up with the apron. Hideo Itami's in trouble. Ohno made himself and his character look like an idiot because he went to go mess with Alexander Wolf, and then Hideo Itami goes for the tag, yet Ohno's not there. So I can understand why Hideo Itami is like a little hesitant to want to tag in Ohno or be his partner for that matter. And then, of course, Killian Dane hits a move. Alexander Wolf, they just mow through these guys and they get the win. This goes back to my question, and maybe this answer, but from what I've been hearing and what I've been reading from the dirt sheets, Sanity might be next in line for an NXT Tag Team title shot, which honestly to me is a little bit weird because they've never really shown NXT hasn't really shown Sanity's like main goal as what they've wanted to do as it turns with the title, so I can't wait to see what that happens there. But yeah, the development between Ohno and Hideo has just been good stuff for me. Like I said, the in-ring aspect didn't deliver for me much, but the story in this match was definitely perfect. Up next on NXT, we had a bit of an Ember Moon interview segment, which got interrupted a little bit by one NXT women's newcomer, Ruby Riott, who I'm still trying to get behind. Ruby Riott, again, after the few NXT Women's Championship matches that she's had, I've started to get behind her a little bit more, but this is the point where they need to start showing more character from Ruby Riott. But from what I've seen so far, I am intrigued. Again, we all know that the end game is to give Ember Moon that NXT Women's Championship, but one of my big gripes when it's come to Ember Moon is just the fact that she hasn't become that big underdog babyface that I would want to see take the title from a dominant champion like Asuka. And again, the person who beats Asuka for that title will be put over immensely. So I'm paying very particular to Ember Moon every single week. But from what I saw this week, very good stuff. We then get a little bit of a recap from last week's my favorite match from this year, one of my favorites from this year, the NXT Women's Last Woman Standing match for the NXT Women's Championship between the champion Asuka and Nikki Cross, and of course Asuka retaining, which then implied Asuka going home or going on vacation, saying, I tweet, unstoppable, unbeatable, I'll be back in NXT when you find me a worthy challenger. I appreciate that character aspect from Asuka for multiple reasons. Number one, she should want to be like going on vacation because like I've been every single woman in the NXT women's division. Nobody is worthy for me. I just defended my title once again. Nobody can beat me. Plus, this keeps Asuka off NXT television for a bit because you don't want to oversaturate Asuka's character so much. So it's like, have her be that unbeatable, cocky champion that just shows up what she wants. And honestly, she should, because again, find me a worthy challenger, and this is where Ember Moon will come into play. And then maybe you can get a title match, and maybe this will lead to a Ruby Riott versus Ember Moon #1 contenders match. So good stuff from the women's division this week. Now, this definitely was an episode where we did see a lot of character development and a lot of talking to, not much in-ring action, but which ties what I'm about to talk about next. They did show a bit of a highlights from a qualifying match with the Mae Young Classic coming up, in just about a month, which I actually cannot wait for. I think that's going to be really good for this division. So we get a bit of a recap there, and also we got a vignette featuring one Drew McIntyre, who we haven't seen in a while, so it's good to see him back on TV. And he brought up the lineage and the prestige of the NXT Championship, which I really preferred and I actually appreciate, because right now I think the NXT Championships are very prestigious, even though they're supposed to be rookie championships. And then what was interesting about this is earlier today, on YouTube, if you look, they released a footage of Sandy attacking one Drew McIntyre. I think it was Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane that did that. And Killian Dane was mentioned here, so we might be moving towards a McIntyre-Killian Dane Sanity feud, which I'm fine with. Maybe McIntyre could get something out of Killian Dane that I just haven't seen yet. Up next on NXT, we get a bit of a recap once again from NXT TakeOver Chicago. God, that seems so long ago, and it was just last month, of how Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano. So we know next week on NXT, Johnny Gargano will make his return to Full Sail to give his thoughts. I will say, though, the way they've done this build so far, I completely forgot about because of the Tommaso Ciampa injury, but the way that they just wrote Johnny Gargano off for a while until they figured out everything, you gotta say, good on them. Alright, everybody, is main event time here on NXT when we have the NXT Championship on the line with Bobby Roode, the glorious champion, defending against number one contender Roderick Strong. I gotta say, real quick shout out to those guys at WWE Production for the video packages, because damn, they're so good. Like, just the build for this match, like, it feels worthy of a takeover, which is, while tonight is the 400th episode of NXT, which I can't believe I'm actually recapping, which is congratulations to them, but it just feels like this match should be on a takeover. It's a takeover match. But we did get the match, and the match was very good, I thought. Very, very good. It did take a while for me to really get into it because of the slow-paced style of Bobby Roode, which is one of the issues I've had with him as champion. It's like, he's been a good X factor being the NXT champion, but it's like I've always said this, his character has just been so generic. I mean, here's the thing, it's a good gimmick for him, but it's just so generic, but it works for NXT's level. And Roderick Strong, I gotta say, just the way that they've built him up, and Bobby Roode literally mentioned it in his promo before the match, the last 7 weeks. It does not feel like 7 weeks, people. But the way that they put that little detail in, I appreciate, and I like Roderick Strong's promo from before he went out. He said, victory. That's all I needed to hear out of Roderick Strong. And I love the way NXT does their championship matches. They dim the lights and focus it on the two guys in the ring. It really gives that big fight feel like always. But yeah, the in-ring stuff was actually very good. Again, it was slow paced because of Bobby Roode's style, but they made it work. Roderick Strong got a lot of offense in about the good first part of the match. And then, of course, the story of the match was, of course, Bobby Roode working on the knee of Roderick Strong, which makes Nigel McGuinness on commentary so well because he knows how to call the action. He brings up, like, the ligament parts of what makes the knee mobile. I appreciate that. And Mauro Ranallo doing a good job as well. And then, of course, as we go on, there were a lot of near falls in this, including one where Roode's foot was on the rope. And then what I loved the psychology was Roderick Strong's family was there, his wife and his mother. Hey, I'm always like, if they're there, utilize them. So Bobby Roode, of course, him being the great heel that he is, he keeps taunting them. And then also, Roderick Strong finally hits his finisher, and what we think he finally wins the title. Bobby Roode's foot was underneath the bottom rope, which is a good call by the official. I don't know why the NXT or the Full Sail crowd was chanting bullshit, bullshit. I mean, come on, guys. This just proves that you love your indie marks, but really, come on. It was legitimately right there. Don't be idiots. But yeah, his foot was on the bottom rope. And of course, Bobby Roode rubbing salt in the wound, just like doing the glorious DDT on the outside, which I thought was just icing on the cake. And of course, doing the glorious DDT in the ring, and he pins Roderick Strong for the win. Overall thoughts on NXT, and it's a decent episode. I'll say it was a decent episode. Like I said, the outside the ring aspect of NXT, and I actually did enjoy. I can't wait to see a Ruby Riott versus Ember Moon match, I hope. And I know next week, Johnny Gargano will be back, and also the NXT Tag Team titles as my boys, AOP, Authors of Pain, take on Heavy Machinery. It's going to be interesting to see how the NXT Championship main event scene will be going moving forward, because I do think Drew McIntyre is penciled in right now to face Bobby Roode for the title in and when we get to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. But yeah, next week's NXT episode is hopefully to be stacked as this one was. So, alright guys, that is it from my end on this NXT recap. Let me know how I did, and I'll be back here to talk with you about NXT. I'm DJ Cass, and I will see you around. Later days.